Sambula vinakatalamai, vinakavale vinavitomani tiko, nananda to ngauna go, nangauna ni VOC and personal ministries in various ways. Na vingauni sala so around in the VOC tukina. Ni sakin da bagitiko, babin vinakatagitiko no numuni vitomani tukumai. Ngandri vitalangami tukinda bagiko na nanda to ni VOC, gas ni vuli luke, vinakavale busara, dala vina, to babin vinakatiko ni rawan ni tiko talibat kikinda to. Na basta sembarangan yo wambula vi rana nanda nomitokani rana nanda sar ting mai dena wasi vi me lesu wala nga bandu na taba kento aga vital no taka na wasa sauti
na valeu kla nimbulo minak na warong na sanatin kawan onda bano turang ken marama tarubo ken ngone lewa kemni na lalai warong cuma nangonango na sesen na sawoti na episode sawoti na vital nota chuki na almatua ni ndua na marama sendo na lewa tambayani sendo na lewa baro wawati sena lewa wati gitu na chuo chop na ibola tambu na almatua ya na kenando Pagananda kuinakais kala seeking evil. Kakevela mo watigita.
Na valeu. Yo ngona vika to vital nota kana nantungo saud. Nakena kune se bukeina ke indona marama me alo matua. Ana barra bona kalau vital nota ko kena kalau barra chuna nona velu takna alo tambu. To babin bina kamalatan na wasa-wasin ko. To sa narita kina, naturanga alo matua. An understanding husband or an understanding man. And we thank you for joining us. And before we continue, I'll invite Brother Luke if he can offer a word of prayer to begin with.
Dalam na masu binawali turanga, kami sabar ubulisan na ni mamibaya alo matua taki. Na tangani, siya turanga, siya na dorobo. Nawali turanga na numuni na ba matatataga na ulutangango. Nawali numuni na ukeira kedera sar-sar ti umay. Keke mami wata na kaluwa na ngonongo mi kimami vikila ibi nakawate keke muni kanda ubarorongo vike muni Jesu ni wakambura.
Amen.
Amen.
Nawali klan sana ti kuno nomu wala tambu. Nomu peni wat kina nomu ibola. Merawan yo tonga sombu chukina. Na viti kini wala tambu. Na wasa itu kayani. Yo, na pambula sa ngole chukayani, pambula tali tinggo be rawo Mrs. Vani ke Mrs. Diana, rawo bula binaka balebu, nita kana sana chikono mundro peni kina pepa, netonga isumu kina na vechikini volta, mutona wili chukayani, okoya bakari takatiko na matangali turanga se na tangane, iyo, tangane yalo matua, a guy or a man that is very understanding. Ngasubul kerker ni tumana sar cuma tanto muniba madala membaleta naturanga almatua.
Kera meniule kamandama na vate ki buwase tulsanga vulkavitu kine rua. Can we hear from Genesis 37:2 concerning an understanding lad, understanding boy.
Amen. Kaya ko na siruan ko na uli kutukani na New King James Version. This is the history of Jacob. Joseph, being 17 years old, was feeding the flock with his brothers. And the lad was with the sons of Bilhah and the sons of Zilpah, his father's wives. And Joseph brought a bad report of them to the father.
Right, a bad report. Joseph brought a bad report. Na kala kever tundu lakavana na tuakano Joseph. His half brother, but ndindio non ranana. Na ngonengo sini quando chico veno na tata na kala kever quando report tacho. Saranga ilati ko na tuakana. Balatana kando lagaw chua. Kaya may bilutala man na pagaruawa si Deuteronomy 32:4.
Okay.
Paleta na kaendo da kawa na kalu. Ko na kalu ko na buki kenda chiku menda alo matua.
He is the rock. His work is perfect. For all his ways are justice. A God of truth and without injustice. Righteous and upright is he.
Naka. Thank you for the translation. I will read the last part on this translation, Old Changes Bible. Faithful is our God who does no wrong. Our God is very faithful and he does no wrong. He doesn't do anything wrong. That is why we need him. To forsake evil or to dislike sin, only God can help us. This is the emphasis. We have to bring this to the point.
Yeah.
Na kalau undang garap cungko kay sini na kaya laka ba meda. Wala mo na kaya na ray rawi kaya. Kaya bali nindua meron di bantin din takay there's anyone to witness for this God. What will that person do? Especially when you're talking about men.
Nandotan no na ito ni wakasama
Right.
ito ni bulay.
That man himself will never do anything wrong. So in this episode, we will be talking about Joseph. Joseph's life as written in Genesis 37, Genesis 39. Genesis 37, we just heard the last Bible reading from Madam Bola, that he always write bad report against his stepbrothers, older than him. Bad reports. Something bad, when they do something bad, he reports to the dad, and the dad will counsel them, their father. They only had one father, but 4 different moms, this family. And this is one of the reasons why these half-brothers, these elder brothers, they sold this boy.
Because they didn't like him, eh?
They didn't like what he was doing. He was doing the right thing, I think because he was being led by God, informing all the bad things, but he was true to his God from a young age.
He was 17, eh?
From 17. Before that, he was doing that. He used to dream. That's another good thing about understanding people. They dream, we vision, and only God does
Provides that.
Only God will help us with that. So this is what made them angry, and one day they sold this boy. They wanted to kill him, but the eldest brother told them, no, don't kill him. Just sell him so he can become a slave. Sell him to the Ishmaelites. The Ishmaelites were on their way to Egypt, and he was taken down to Egypt. The story is in Genesis 39. Kila wikenda na warong chumai kena na lutu wakaristo kena kila bina kebetu ni talon dango kichwa siapa. Chukuna keni talon na wakati una wasi tolu sanga ulu kadiwa. Sa woli takiani sa lai tikungo wana wale ni chwa siapa. Santana waro reirango na yalo ni kalau nona mbula na dora wongo nona sa tikumai. Kira mo bili kamandame na tikine rua. Genesis 39:2, madam.
The Lord was with Joseph, and
Amen.
he was a successful man. And he was in the house of his master, the Egyptian.
Tikine tolu.
And his master saw that the Lord was with him, and that the Lord made all he did to prosper in his hand.
Now, madam, this translation of mine, the Lord was with Joseph, so he succeeded in everything he did. That is another a good indicator of an understanding man. Everything that the understanding man will do will be successful. Everything. Everything he does. What happened after that? Verse 3. Potiphar noticed this. All the good things will be noted from people from outside. Not the man himself, the understanding man. The people saw it. especially his boss. This was the man who bought him in Egypt, Potiphar. He was a general of the army of Egypt. This is what he noticed. Potiphar noticed this and realized. He saw it, he noticed it, and realized that the Lord was with Joseph, giving him success in everything he did. So his boss, or his owner, his master, saw that the Lord was with Joseph because he giving him, God giving Joseph success in everything he did. Nakalo ni sa chiko bata kenan dua na dorbo, sin dua na turanga, sin dua na tangane, kem ni na dorbo, kena na turanga, kena na ngase sara, ngase lake, ka kede na laka, ena rawa, baka minaka. Santana para urong odango ni talo no kede gitu siapa. Kaya tugunan na ni Professor, we will be looking at the story, the completion of the story, in the spirit of prophecy, patriarchs and prophets, Ellen White's book, Patriarchs and Prophets, chapter 20, Joseph in Egypt. Kendo num ni taro medem ninga taro cuma nyusan pamadala cuma na bunti kenango. In the next 15 minutes. Or maybe 13 minutes. I'll be reading from Ellen White's book, Prophets and Kings, chapter 20, Joseph in Egypt. Kila ni na sala bata ti wikya, una bilikcho ni baba bala ngi kerenum ni bibo soti na netokei. Ti umano ti kini rua non sa ti umay chipito koya. Arriving in Egypt, Joseph was sold to Potiphar, captain of the king's guard, in whose service he remained for 10 years. Vaga chiko kwa ve Potiphar ni saya ni Egypta, tinembaki. Tinembaki no vaga chiko Egypta. He was here exposed to temptations of no ordinary character. He was in the midst of idolatry. Tu sartungo kwa na kenrmaliwa nandong karabi kalu matakau. The worship of false gods was surrounded by all the pomp of royalty, supported by the wealth and culture of the most highly civilized nation then in existence. Yet, Joseph preserved his simplicity and his fidelity to God. The sights and sounds of vice were all about him, but he was as one who saw and heard not. His thoughts were not permitted to linger upon forbidden subjects. The desire to gain the favor of the Egyptians could not cause him to conceal his principles. Had he attempted to do this, he would have been overcome by temptation, but he was not ashamed of the religion of his fathers, and he made no effort to hide the fact that he was a worshipper of Jehovah. Amen. And the Lord was with Joseph, as we have read, and he was a prosperous man. And his master saw that the Lord was with him, and that the Lord made all that he did to prosper in his hand. Potiphar's confidence in Joseph increased daily. Nanona ba mo di Joseph na kenen no nito ke Potiphar. Visinga sa tumpu da ke chunga. Nana ba mo to chuna do robongo. Ambagi chin ka bitu chin ka walungo. Mela ko chumili rusanga bulmili tinembaki. Nona daga chuka Joseph. Nona mboso no kenita okay no naturanga a toso da chunga no na ba mbo chikwa sa re le chikuna kalu chikuba na dorbomo. So an understanding young men, we came in to all the youths. I think we need God. You need God. We need God, so that we can do the right things. Remember, God does nothing wrong. He does nothing wrong. So when we are with God, that will be the case with us as well. The marked prosperity which attended everything placed under Joseph's care was not the result of a direct miracle, but his industry, care, and energy were crowned with a divine blessing. Understanding men, understanding youth, tambangone, tamatayalo matua, tamatanda udakalaka. Industries, care, and energy, nunayungu, were crowned with divine blessing. Sangay blessed ay kwa manakalu. Blessed ay kwa manakalu. Joseph attributed his success to the favor of God. Na nona rawa ka kede chungo Josefa, nona binaka chungo nona dagalaka, balataya nakalu. Bebo ke chiko. Bebo kanda bebo sa kita chiko. Tomana, and even his idolatrous master accepted this as the secret of his unparalleled prosperity. Without steadfast, well-directed effort, however, success could have never been attained. God was glorified by the faithfulness of his servant. Samaraw nakalu, reki lomalangi, balatano na alon din na chiko na toro. That's part of an understanding man. Alon din na nalagalaka. Do alon din na nalagalaka. God was glorified. It was his purpose that in purity and uprightness, the believer in God should appear in marked contrast to the worshippers of idols. Gona no ni naginakalu. Ninda sando tuye nando na vanua, ko lebu ken nangare kalu matakau, lebu ken nanduin duin tobo duin tamata. Binakata nakalu, ninda dua tani chiko na no na tamata. Kemni na dorbo. Turanga na tama. Kemni na simberi bawati, tarubo ni tambangone. Gone nagini kalobe kemni. Nagini kalobe kenda. Menda dua tani na vanua enda tiwukina. Na rawale ngaya, rawani dua tani. Sakabana kandon donu, kesa chiko nakalu. Chiko nakalu na nondambula. Dono ka ngay sotaba na tarubungo. But Joseph's faith and integrity were to be tested by fiery trials. Na tamatay alumatua, sarubo alumatua, singini sa pinakakede chunga nakakede. Sa kuya chunga. Daw sotaba na biwato bali. Kinmambali medem na lamdo kana kenira kinawato bali ya.
Meron lori kina Londina.
Right, mengi taray lagi kina na ya Londina. Sini lagi ni biwato bali, mondabo kina. To strengthen the faith. Joseph's faith and integrity were to be tested by fiery trials. His master's wife, gonna be temakilew. Sangi may temakikwacho na wanawati Potiphar, Mrs. Potiphar. His master's wife endeavored to entice the young men to transgress the law of God. Iba to believe about the cuma na maramongo. Me daw tangane se pingbuta kodi. Aya na biwato boli sala o chumai. Me borro kana bunau ni kalu. Kela bina jo rega na yalo matua ka usana daw tukuna wasomati na yalo matua aya na rereba kana kala. La gotta ni menala. Salia no ngona biwato boli ngo Josefa. Me borro ko kwa. Na bunau ni kalu. Ana pala sin is to transgress the law, transgression of the law. Kena talinendre kena bunau. Sangge banget tak serangan na teworo banget akan waci Potiphar. Kila lebu ni talno. Sangai ko chiko na maramongo, sangai ko chiko na maramongo. Dona kando tu gona chiko Josefa. Gona pakaro ni tamate aluma tu talento talnya pakaro ni tamate aluma tu ngo. Lambe kando tu gona chiko Josefa.
That can sin against God, eh?
Right. Don chiko Josefa. O Potiphar ya litungo, ore la ko tumekon na mission of Potiphar. Nungu turang ya lotu. Iyo la ko tu. Iyo nungu kalau he is present ya. Yana pagaro ni tamate aloma tu. Tangane, torobo, se ngasi, se turanga. Oro ni alumatua. Kila pakilau kwa nakalu chiko pati kwa. Ken balen ni sa chiko pati kenda nakalu. Bebo kana nakalu ne alo tampo nango. Ni boso tani sa tosa dagi chiko nando mungo. Aku pina kata me depan dia takango. Enda na wakila chiko na tamata ya alumatua. Kwa rere baka chiko nakala. Kila chungo kwa ni kalu chiko pati kwa. Ken balen labana laga chiko medem.
Kawi nakangana ya chiko.
Sinren laga mo kwa ndo nakala.
Tani kilan di.
Ai, total la kando ya chumelo malangi sentando ora ndo daga tu nangilo sila ora ndo daga tu nangilo. Ka keden da kawa se vinaka se da ai dava.
Lai.
Record. Na recordava ko tu governo na faike. Na recordava ko tu governo visa. Lo malangi. Sini vi varri. Tamate alo matu angona nonda lesoni ti wana buni rona series mo, rona episode mo. Na alo matu. Na kila chokwa. Na lo malangi chiko pati kwa na bingon. Kin man na sindo na kala na dakava. Kila lebu na talnoa. I think we know the story. Our story is in the Bible. He was tempted, but he never fell. He didn't sin. Then this lady changed the story. Biso takana talnoa na maramango. Ngai tini bio chua siapa?
Palu besu.
Ngai besu. Beitaki wakailas. To bring the story to before we conclude. O Potifa na nona trust taki chua siapa tu. Na report ya newachi na kwa sina pambota. Balat na attempted rape ya mai chipita na kenala na ngona ya lava kento tongi madam. Mate. Kuna. Yo o Potifa o kwa sini bambo kwa sali bambo chua siapa la ke me watina. Patene kwa kili watina bina. Ara kila tunda kwa na nona malum na watina. Ngona maramando ngarabi kalu matakau ngosin marama lutu wakaristo. Maramando ngarabi kalu matakau. Sa nona watina mandanga sali trustaki chua siapa? Sin trustaki watina. Hello. Mrs. Potifa.
Tuna no sembarolangan yo kau yo wil kawalangan na me salamatanga kina nung tuna chiko na nakalu tiko na protection prophet. Let the young ever remember that wherever they are and whatever they do, they are in the presence of God.
That's a lesson to the young people.
No part of our conduct escapes observation. We cannot hide our ways from the Most High. The very motives of his heart are open to divine inspection. Every act, every word, every thought is distinctly marked as though there were only one person in the whole world, and the attention of heaven was centered upon him.
So the 8 billion population of the world right now, we have our own angel, we have our own records. We are not trying to scare you. What we are trying to say, when we understand how God works.
Ko tal na kayo matartar na ngono sana kina na tarong mai. Atu na evangelin sila. Yeah, that was from Patriarchs and Prophets.
Right.
Page
It's also in here.
It's
also in here.
Yeah.
Very nice. Yeah. Now, you're coming to conclusion now. Na bulan ni Chua Fango, kila ni sanawari tayo na sando na lenga le taratungo nonda no eviti. Na lenga ni wani matenganga ni bibo matini taki na we muri. Au sawa mama suti kwani. Sa kere chukani. Da buli la bale buni talma ke Chua siapa. Kemni na dorbo. Wani buli. Dorbo ni sa laka ni tambangone. Da buli la bale kila nakalo kwa rin bang te ikenda na mbaki lava nga enda sa ding kena men ding ta kame mai lute ikenda en do mu keda na kanda laka isini tu kuna mona le ngase sara mo ngai almatua sabi almatua ni kwa sele no mbula wana kalu I think that is a message we're trying to pass because there's a lot of problems and hearing what is going on we are just targeting we are just looking after the people who are selling. What about the people who are buying? God will help you to decide, oh, this is wrong. I will forsake this one. This is evil. Because it's going to damage my brain. It's going to damage my health.
Decision making,
We need God's help. We are talking about families here. How can men or married men, husband, to be an understanding one. But I'm bringing it up to this level, bringing it down to this level, to the youth, to the school kids. We have to accept God in our hearts. I think in Lamentation 3:27, it is better to give our life to God at an early age. The earlier, the better. Na kena totolongan inon da solikan da wana kalau, na kena vinaka. At an early age. Sanongu masuti wana ka vinikwa. It is my prayer that the Lord will help us to be understanding people. Sanongu masuti ko ni nabukikan si wana kalau, watagi chwa sefa, sekali lemai, mele adova ni salai dorbu lebu, me adova ni sangeli bawa cinta nang gitara na episode taraba. Bakila bawa jikino chwa sefa na conditions da bawa jikina. Kena tobu ni bola satu ba, sangi bawa choka. Nang gitara na episode taraba.
Nakvali. Naksarvali mo gasbuli. Nakvali mo na talano kay Josefa. Ano itakini kemni na dorpo. Na itamba ngone ni buliti ko baka kina weekend na itubtub. Merabu kina non de sulsuli. Merabu kilay ba binakawat kina kalo. Sababi mo nakati unita kini onisa na dingo mati ko na biwasi sa ngoli to kaningo. Na non rabu kina non de itamba ngone. Mera yalo matua. Mera kilana kalo. Merawa ni binaka baka wot na bikake der baidor. Naksarvale mo na parong tumay. Sana may tiniti ko na nontungo nongo nando na masuk kere kena melo lo na ulunda mendo na masuk. Nakvale mo nito kalo ng bulan ni Josefa. Tu na nomoni bosa. Merani kema miwili kami kema miwili may kina. Nakvale mo na nomoni sabi inting taki. Yalo binaka ni po kaira na baka rong ti kumay. Ira na ni mamitambak mo ni. Mera po kay meran daw. Baka nui ka baka rarabi.
Iya tulang.
Mera po kay meran ding taki mo niya na bingaw na kaya. Nakvale mo sara sa itaki ni ni natakati ko na lomandro sa barorong ti kumay.
Amen.
Merani ni mamipatakili ko na nomoni be bakulong tataki. Jesu na bakambola. Amen.
Amen.
Naksarvalem, yingay nanumatak nga na nonda talipon isin sa umi, na walong dua tolo, raw niya tartar may kina, kaya doon ko na lamatartaro sa'yo, kera bi masulaki, so kiwa siya may, so napikaw sa tamatiko. Sa tuba raw, ikito na lingoma, na nung biwasi. Naksarvalem, kaya ba nung tangaw na taraba, isama kita kumata.